Alright, so we left off over here after we built our model, but now what I want to show you is how to manage some of the signals within your Simulink model. So what I mean by manage is sometimes when you have very complex circuits, you're going to have wires running on top of each other. So this one is a somewhat simple model, so it's not too cluttered, but if you had, let's say, 10 times more components, you might have wires running all over the place. So for example, you might have more components over here, and those might have wires that run over some of these components. So sometimes to organize models, you might want to manage some of the signals a little bit better. What I mean by that is that you don't necessarily have to have wires running all over the place. And let me actually show you what I mean by that. So for example, let's say that this voltage, or rather this circuit over here, was all the way here on the right, and we had this control signal over here on the left. And let's say that we had a more complex model where we have stuff here in the middle, and we don't want this wire running through that part of the circuit or that part of the model. So one thing that we can do is we can use what's called a go-to and a from block to organize the signals a little bit better. So if we go here to the library browser and you type here in the search bar, type go-to, you're going to find these two blocks. So we have a go-to and a from block. So let's go ahead and add both to the model. So I'm going to add both, and let me actually now go back to my model. So in here we have the two blocks. Now what we can do is we can split, or rather take this out, this wire, and we're going to say, well, I'm going to bring that here to this go-to block. And this go-to block is actually a Simulink signal again. Remember that black blocks are Simulink signals and the colored ones are physical signals. So notice here that it's not letting me connect this to this over here. So let me actually get rid of this first, and I'm going to move this converter over here to the right next to the voltage source, and let's just leave it there for now. So what I want to show you is that we can connect this block to this go-to block. So this is called, again, a go-to block, and that's going to have a tag. So let me call this tag control underscore signal and hit OK, and you notice here that the name changed. So let me make this a little bit bigger. So now what I can do then is I can go to this from tag, and we're going to have to click update tags first. And now we can see over here that we have the control signal tag over here. So essentially what this does is it connects the two blocks together. So in other words, this output over here is going to be equal to this input over here. And that's helpful because now we don't need to have a wire connected all the way from here to here. Now I can simply connect this over here and it's the same thing. So essentially there's a virtual connection between this block and this block without having to have the wire connected to blocks. And again, that's maybe not necessary in this simple circuit, but if we had a more complex circuit where we maybe have more stuff here in the middle and we don't want to have to run a wire all the way from here to here running through that part of the model, what we can do is we can use this go-to and from blocks to organize our circuit a little bit better. And again, I know that this maybe doesn't seem necessary for this circuit, and it probably isn't because this is a pretty simple model. But once you start getting more and more complex models where you have more and more things in your model, it definitely helps to organize your model a little bit, especially using these go-to and from tags. So I just want to show you how to add those go-to and from tags to organize your model a little bit better.